Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are having a good week so far. As you can see, we're joined by Cornet again today and we're going to sit down and talk about the Merseyside derby. It's not going to be the game preview to the Merseyside derby. That will be coming on Friday, but I wanted to sit down and give a little bit of an update as to what we know so far basically going into the game, because I'm sure you all know football resumes this week. It actually resumes today in about 50 minutes or so, with Aston Villa Sheffield United being the first game and then City Arsenal being a little bit later on. But you know, we're all here for Everton, aren't we? As you know, Everton play Liverpool on Sunday in the Merseyside derby, one of the last games in the return fixtures, and I wanted to sit down and basically give a little bit of an update as to what we know so far. We're going to talk about the referees, who I'm sure you've seen, put a little bit of a tweet out yesterday that went a little bit bonkers. A lot of people liked it. There was a lot of Liverpool fans jumping on it as well. Basically, it was a clip of if you didn't know, Mike Dean is the referee for the game on Sunday. We'll talk about him in just a second. He refereed the Merseyside derby at Anfield in December, and he didn't give one of the most blatant penalty decisions I've ever seen in my life as a football fan. So I basically put that video out saying, by the way, Mike Dean didn't give this, and it went a little bit bonkers. So we'll talk about that. We'll also give a little bit of an injury update. Everton Football Club and Carlo Ancelotti spoke a couple of days ago and updated us on injuries and which players will be fit and which players won't be fit for Sunday's game. And then we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about young players as well, and how this Merseyside derby could be a real opportunity for us to breed some of the younger players in and give them an opportunity, a little bit like them lot did in the FA Cup against us in January. Maybe we should be giving Anthony Gordon, maybe we should be giving Dennis Adeniran the chance to go out there and prove themselves, because in the few training clips that we've seen so far from Everton, they've looked absolutely fantastic, the pair of them. So anyway, just to start off, I haven't spoke for a couple of weeks, haven't been on the channel for a couple of weeks. How you doing, mate? How's things over in South Africa? We any further ahead with this whole mad, crazy situation that we're in at the moment?
What's up, everyone? What's up, Cam? Yeah, sorry, I've been very busy. Work is killing me. The cold is killing me. I was chatting off air and I was saying how cold it is, and for you guys that average weather. But yeah, no, it's going all right. I'm quite excited for this league to start now, because it's at least something to watch. Or get used to while we sit at home. But I was telling you, the cases have quite jumped increasingly now. We're sitting on about 90,000 with about 2,000 deaths. The last time I think we chatted, we were on like 5,000 cases and like 200 deaths. So things are not looking too great. We've lowered levels because we realized people need to eat and work and things, but it's going all right. Everyone is just a bit sick of this whole thing, and I think in the next coming few weeks we could even be sitting above you guys in the tally with regards to numbers, but let's hope not.
Yeah, let's hope not for your sake. It takes some going, to be fair, because I think we're the second worst to America. But yeah,
your deaths are just ridiculous,
yeah,
right?
they are. It's not great. It's not great, to be perfectly honest with you, and it hasn't been dealt with great. And obviously this is why football has been suspended, along with many other things, for as long as it has been suspended, is it because we didn't catch it while we could catch it. We let it free, and then obviously we just acted too late, in my opinion. But we won't get too political into it. Football is back today. It returns, like I said, Everton return on Sunday. Just before we go into talking specifically about the Merseyside derby, then last time we spoke, I believe we were talking about a potential return for football. We didn't know a date. We didn't know if football would return. There was still a discussion as to whether, the league had been null and voided and football would be ended for this season. Obviously, since then, there's been a lot gone on. It's been confirmed to be back, and it is back today, like I said, in the next 45 minutes, so the first game will kick off. How are you feeling then? I know you mentioned then you're happy, you're looking forward to it. How are you feeling about the game on Sunday? Obviously the Merseyside derby, first game back. Goodison Park, which again is something that was thrown up in the air a lot over the last couple of weeks or so as to whether it'll be at Goodison Park or not. How are you feeling about the game in general and football returning?
Okay, first on football returning, I'm like I said, I'm happy. I don't know how it's gonna be looking at an empty stadium, but at least it's back and there's something to do. We can watch some Everton. Merseyside derby. How can we feel? We can't get too excited because every time we always, I don't know, the gap between the previous game and the next game somehow calms you down a bit. But I remember the last time we played them, you weren't
No,
very happy after we lost to the
no.
kids. We lost to the kids, and the match before that, a month before that, we lost. I think the biggest margin that we've lost to them. So obviously, maybe an empty stadium does us good, less pressure, but it could also have a even worse effect. Them coming to Goodison, and let's pray it
Yeah.
doesn't happen. Let them winning the league at Goodison.
Well, yeah.
Man City, we all the money on Man City
Yeah.
tonight. Then,
Well, let's hope that City go out
but
and do
yeah,
it.
let's. I don't know. Maybe I'm excited. I think we can be positive. Calvert-Lewin looks boss. I think he's been training. I'm backing him to score the winner on
Yeah.
Sunday. So let's
He
see.
does, and a lot of the lads look sharp. To be fair, I've watched a couple of the training videos over the last couple of days or so, and you know the lads do look sharp. They look good. Calvert-Lewin, there's one where they're playing a five-a-side game, and Calvert-Lewin scores about 6 goals in it, and they're not just tap-ins, they're not just back posts. I was watching another video today, totally off topic, but it was Romelu Lukaku's just before it was Romelu Lukaku's all of his Premier League goals for Everton Football Club, and the variety of different goals that man scored for our football club is really to be admired. He'd score worldies from just outside the box where he'd curl them in. He'd score headers. He'd score tap-ins where he was in the right place at the right time. He scored a goal, I think it was Balassi crossed it and it come off the goalkeeper, and Lukaku had already slid, and the fact that he'd slid meant he got his body on the end of the ball. However, if the goalkeeper wouldn't have touched it, he'd have been nowhere near it, but he took that risk and he slid. And what we're seeing now with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, certainly over the last couple of weeks or so in the training videos, is very similar. He's scoring those type of goals where he's picking the ball up and he's, hitting it from, the edge of the box or just outside the box, and the very good technical goals, but he's also getting in the right place at the right time. He's on the end of every cross, he's on the end of every ball. So, listen, it's positive, like you mentioned then. A lot of the players are doing well, and we'll go on to talk about some of the younger players later on in the live stream, and how they could potentially get an opportunity with obviously the new substitution rules, 5 substitutions being able to be used instead of 3. I want to jump into injuries then straight away, because again, like I said, Everton have provided an update over the last 24 hours or so, and I want to just say it's important to know and it's important to realise that Everton have stated that, listen, a certain amount of players are out injured. That may change between now and Sunday, because every time Everton players go out to train, I just fear that somebody's going to pick up an injury, somebody's going to pick up a knock. But from now, sitting here on Wednesday night, what we know is that Andre Gomes is said to be fit for the game on Sunday. He did pick up a little knock last week in training.
That's great.
Yeah, he did pick up a little knock last week in training. There was a little bit of a fear here and there. There was a tweet that was put out from somebody trolling saying that he'll miss the game, and then it actually did come out that he had picked up a little bit of an injury. But Carlo Ancelotti has stated that he's trained with the team all week and he will be fit for Sunday. Fabian Delph and Yerry Mina remain a doubt. Carlo Ancelotti said there's a slight possibility, but they are very doubtful for the game on Sunday, so they're likely to miss out. However, if they do miss out, they will be fit for the game against Norwich next week, midweek. And obviously Theo Walcott and John-Philip Cabaman will both miss the game, because they've got long-standing injuries. So in regards to injuries, Andre Gomes, the only player that will return from the current injury list. Fabian Delph and Yerry Mina look set to miss the game, due to the injuries that they've picked up in training. And of course, we know John-Philip Cabaman and Theo Walcott will miss them as well, because they've got long-standing injuries. If you're enjoying the team, by the way, so far, please do hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you could share this team all over social media, it'd mean a massive amount to us. So just on injuries then, I've done a little bit of a video last week talking about injuries. Obviously, it's massive that Andre Gomes is fit for this game, because I was really, really fearful that we'll be going into another Merseyside derby with a midfield pairing with a midfield. I think any of the midfielders, when you take Andre Gomes and Cabaman out, there's very little creativity, there's no energy, there's no pace, there's very little technical ability as well. Again, not to go at players, but
ball carriers. We don't have many
exactly,
ball carriers.
we don't
to be
have
honest.
many ball carriers, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about Enes Adeniran in a bit, because he looks like a real player that'll pick the ball up and isn't afraid to run with it. But in regards to injuries, then we know Andre Gomes has returned to first team football and will be fit for Sunday, which, like I said, is fantastic because, again, he's a player that can slot into that midfield and can do the job that we really need him to do. How much of a
And the players.
No, I was just going to say, how much of a miss do you think that the likes of Yerry Mina, Fabian Delph, Theo Walcott is? I'm not going to throw Gbamin into it too much because we haven't seen an awful lot from Jean-Philippe Gbamin anyway. But certainly, listen, whatever you think of Fabian Delph, Theo Walcott, Yerry Mina, one thing is for sure is that if they were fit, they would be in this squad. Whether they be in the starting 11 or not is another thing. I think Yerry Mina would definitely be in the starting 11, but the other two would definitely be within the squad. So how big of a miss are those players for you going into this game, and how are you worried about the injuries that we seem to be picking up? Because, like I said, football only being back a couple of weeks in regards to players being back in training, and then there's an absurd amount of players picking up injuries.
Oh, it's just our luck, eh? When it comes back, they get injuries. I just don't understand how they got. I don't know how Gbamin got an injury so quickly after. It's not like they were doing. I don't even think they were doing any tackling for the first week of. So I honestly, did he step wrong?
He was playing
don't
foot.
know.
He was playing
all of these
foot tennis
injuries
with
are.
Andre Gomes.
Oh, it's so unlucky, eh? So yeah, like you said, we're a bit light on the defense. Who steps in now? It will be Holgate and Keane, and then who do we like? Do we have the kids there? What's the guy for Lewis Gibson? Is he on the bench?
He's on loan, I think. I think his loan's been extended. We've
he's
got
on
Jared
loan.
Branthwaite, who we brought in January, of course, who's been.
He's like 17.
Yeah, he's young.
like
He's been training with the first team. Again, he looks very sharp. He looks willing, and I think the thing with young players is they.
Especially in a derby.
Because they've got that. They've got that energy. They've got the youthfulness. They've got the stamina. They're probably amongst the fittest in the client group because obviously the younger. They play a lot of games for the 23s as well, but they've got that. They've got that want to play for the first team.
Hunger to want to.
Yeah, they've got that desire. They've got that hunger. Look at again. I don't want to talk about too much, but look at their youth team or whatever you want to call it. Their youth players that played against us in the FA Cup in January. They had that hunger.
They were rubbish. They were rubbish,
exactly.
And then we just get.
But
their defense was quite shocking. We should have scored 3 goals in the first half, but like you said, yeah, it's more like a determination. Not a determination, more. I think the first team sets the bar, and then for them, it just flows down through the youth. Calvert-Lewin at the top. Yeah. I think we'll be all right.
No, I agree. And look, listen, again, the injuries are worrying, and it's pure unlucky, really, that players come back to first team football and pick up injuries straight away. Certainly the likes of Jean-Philippe Gbamin. It is unlucky, but ultimately, what can you do? You've got to deal with it. You've got to go out. You've got to use what you've got. And again, like I said, it's vital that Andre Gomes was fit for this game because he is a midfielder that we desperately need. He's technically our best midfielder. He's very good on the ball.
And he gives that great. He can give that cutting pass. Yeah. He has a long range of passing, not just the back and sidewards that Schneiderlin tends to do. So yeah, I think that's key. Who do you think will partner him? Will it be Davies or Benny Beningame?
See, Benny Beningame again, another player who's done okay in training. I think he'll go with. I think he'll go with Sigurdsson, if I'm being honest with you. I do, and again, I know a lot of people won't like that. And I'm not necessarily saying I would. I would personally probably go with Tom Davies because I think he's got the most energy out of the rest of the players. And I don't think he'd throw a Benny Beningame in there or a Dennis Adeniran straight away. But I do think he'll go with Sigurdsson. I think he trusts Sigurdsson. I think he's the professional there. And you know what? I'd rather Gylfi Sigurdsson play in a central midfield role than play on a wing. And if it means that if Gylfi Sigurdsson is in central midfield next to Andre Gomes, he's on the left or he's on the right, I'd rather him be in central midfield because I'd rather have an Anthony Gordon or, I don't know, Moise Keane or somebody of that ilk playing on one of the wings rather than Gylfi Sigurdsson. He's got no pace. He's got very little ability on there. He's not a winger. But again, centre midfield options, you've got Alex Iwobi, who's done well in training. Again, I've seen some clips of him where he's picking the ball up from the midfield and he's running forward, exactly what we need. Like you mentioned earlier, we need midfielders who bring the ball forward. Tom Davies, I'd probably have in there again. He's got the desire. He hasn't always got the technical ability, but he's got the desire. So I don't know. Who would you go for, and who do you think Ancelotti will put in? Oh, we still there? Don't know if I've lost connection. Bear with me 2 seconds. I don't know if we appear to have lost connection. Hang on with me. Give me 2 seconds. Computer's having a bit of a cronnery today. What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Are you back? We're back. It's okay. No worries. No worries at all. Yeah. It's probably just internet issues, to be perfectly honest with you. Let me just replace this then. Bear with me 2 seconds, everyone. Technical issues. These things happen when you're on a live stream. Give me 2 minutes. We'll get Cornet back in, and we will resume the conversation. How's everyone doing, by the way, in the live comments? Excited for the return of football. Excited for the Merseyside derby as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Bear with me 2 seconds. Let's get you back in then. There we go.
Sorry, man.
It's alright, no worries. Not your fault. These things happen. There we go. Let me just move you over a tad. Oh, that's not you. That's you. There we go. Right, we're back. Technical issues, but we fixed it. These things happen. We fixed it. So then, yeah, like we said then, obviously, younger players, I think it's important that, they get their opportunity. And again, in regards to the midfield, I think it's vital that Andre Gomes is back. And ultimately, whoever partners him, whether it be a Davis, a Schneiderlin, a Sigurdsson, I think we know that, we haven't got 2 top quality midfielders, but Andre Gomes is the player that, again, we would need in there, and he's fit to be in there. So,
Would you carry on playing a 4-4-2 though?
I think Ancelotti will carry on with the 4-4-2 until next season, if I'm being honest with you. I think what he's done is he's come in, he's adopted the formation that Duncan Ferguson has taken, and he's basically thought, you know what, I'll run with this until the end of the season, so the players are aware of it, they know what they're doing, they know the roles, and then maybe into the pre-season and into next season he'll start to discuss the potential of changing the formation up a little bit, because he's a manager that has changed the formation up a lot in his career, and he often does that. So I think. So
you wouldn't go back to a 4-2-3-1.
Not for this game, but I don't know, to be honest. You don't know. Obviously, they've had a lot of time to think. He's had a lot of time to think. He's had a lot of time to to ponder on if the formation's working or not. So I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. I really don't. He might do. I'd say he'd probably stick with a 4-4-2 because I think he really, really likes how well, and I really, really like how well Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison play together.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think.
But you can maybe, I just feel like if you can have a type of centre number 10, because currently, like we said, if we have Andre Gomes and Sigurdsson is not really a defensive midfielder. Well, he's not really an attacking midfielder either. So I don't know what if you put him in there, what's his role gonna be like?
Exactly. That's it. And I think Ancelotti will figure that out, and in the transfer window, hopefully he keeps all of that in mind. As well, which is really, really important, isn't it? So anyway, on to the referee discussion. I put referee discussion down because if you didn't know, yesterday it was announced that Mike Dean will be the referee for the Merseyside derby on Sunday. I believe it was originally Martin Atkinson before the suspension of the Premier League, and then I assume that the Premier League... Well, I'd like to say the Premier League have randomised which referees will be refereeing which games, but I really don't think they have. I really think they've given us Mike Dean on purpose. Mike Dean will referee the fixture. Like I said earlier on, he refereed the Merseyside derby at Anfield back in December, which we were beaten 5-2. Like I said before, he didn't give that absolute blatant penalty and red card. Dominic Calvert-Lewin being fouled in the box by Virgil van Dijk. He didn't give it. I think he's refereed, I've seen a stat before, I think he's refereed something like 38 Liverpool games. They've won 35, drawn 2 and maybe lost 1, something along those lines. It's some mad stat like that.
That's bullshit.
Well, exactly. Chris Kavanagh will be on the VAR as well. Chris Kavanagh, of course, the referee who sent Carlo Ancelotti off in the last Premier League fixture to be played at Goodison Park, which was against Manchester United. So we've been given a referee who's already done us over in a Merseyside derby this season, and we've been given a referee who sent Carlo Ancelotti off for purely explaining that, how was the goal against Manchester United not given. So again, like I said, I'd like to say that it's randomised, but I really don't think it is. I really think they've done that on purpose. A lot of uproar then on social media when this was announced. A lot of uproar regarding Mike Dean being the referee. Again, I don't understand how a referee can referee 2 of the same games in one season. I don't. I assume that there'd be a rule to avoid that happening. Of course, Chris Kavanagh again sending Carlo Ancelotti off. I don't want to sit here and make any excuses. I don't want to sit here and you'll find you'll.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Cam. I agree with you. Like we always tend to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it keeps on happening.
Yeah.
And the fact that he sent him off for literally just trying to understand why it wasn't a goal is ridiculous. They just have a sense of aura, and they feel like they can't make a mistake, so they'll rather try and eliminate the situation than actually speak about it. And that's the problem with all of the I don't know one good ref in the Premier League. It's shocking.
Well, exactly, and look, I think you're spot on. I think referees make a decision, and even if they think or if they know, oh, that's a bad decision or that's not the right decision in their head, they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to own up to it, they basically just want to pretend it didn't happen, and if anybody tries to talk to them about it, they're not having any of it and they spit the dummy. And we've seen that's evident in the fact that referees don't get questioned. They're very rarely the people come out and expose the mistakes, and if they do get exposed, you never see a referee have to sit there and explain why he made said decision. Chris Kavanagh, again, the VAR decision against Liverpool in December when Mike Dean failed to give a penalty, VAR should have given it, they didn't. So we've been set up there with 2 referees that have got bad histories with Everton Football Club anyway, but bad recent history with Everton Football Club, which is what worries me the most. Mike Dean's a referee that loves to be the centre of attention. He loves everybody to watch him. He loves everybody to look at him. Like I said, again, I'm not making an excuse. I don't particularly think Mike Dean was massively at fault for the final result in the derby in December. He didn't, he wasn't the reason we conceded 5 goals. Ultimately, we were defensively shite at that point. But, he failed to give a penalty at a point where I think the game had gone to 2-2. And obviously, it would have been a massively different game at that point. And that could have changed it. Not saying we'd have won the game, but it could have changed it. And again, Chris Kavanagh's decision would have meant that we'd have beat Manchester United and ultimately,
sit in a better spot.
Exactly, sat in a better spot and bounced back after that Arsenal defeat, which, we were defeated by only, 1 goal in an away game against Arsenal, which I thought we played very, very well in. So, again, like I said, a bit of uproar on social media. I don't want to sit here, I don't want to make excuses before the game. I don't want to sit here and say, right, okay, let's moan as much as possible, because then if a bad refereeing decision happens, we can say, well, we told you so, we moaned as much as possible. I don't want to do that, but I think it's important to remember that these referees are notorious for giving bad decisions, and I would not be surprised if another bad decision was made on Sunday. I really, really wouldn't. But ultimately,
I just hope. Sorry, I just hope he lets the game flow. But it's after all a derby, so a bit of what do I call it? Physicality and a bit of pushing and shoving shouldn't be blown straight away, because it's part of the game. The derbies have become so that if it's stop-start, it's not not a good watch. So personally, I would love the game to have a bit of nastiness or defenders getting in the faces of the attackers. Like that's what it's all about in the end. I don't know what your thoughts.
Yeah, no, spot on.
Are.
Spot on. I agree, and I think when I heard the Mike Dean announcement, and obviously you go on social media and there's a lot of upset about it, and rightly so. Listen, I think Mike Dean's done Everton over his fair share of times, as has Chris Kavanagh. But I think it's important to maybe think about the fact that there's new rules in place now. There's new things being put in place. For example, I think there's a new rule which states that players can't gather around the referee. They can't be in his face. Obviously, there's no crowd, so there's no intimidation on the referee at that point. So again, I don't want to go and say something that might be like, oh my god, that will never happen. But potentially, maybe the referees may feel a little bit less pressure, and they may perform better because there's no crowd, and because the players can't gather around them. Again, I'm going out on a limb there to try and sit on the fence and be a little bit fair to the referees, not just Mike Dean, but every referee across the Premier League. But look, I think it's important to remember that these referees are notorious for doing us over in the past, and again, listen, what can you say?
Oh, let's hope for the best.
Let's hope for the best. Just before we start, we'll get into the live comments in a second. The Blue Boys Network, Mike, I don't know if it's Mike or John, but I assume it's Mike, has just donated £2 to the stream and said, backing my fellow creator. Just thank you very, very much for that. Really, really do appreciate it. Also said could go towards a decent haircut. I can't get my haircut because the barbers are shut, so I can't do anything about it. It's just going to have to stay. But thank you very much for that. Really.
Same, I also the barbers are shut this side. I also
exactly. Thank you very much for that. I really, really do appreciate that. Of course. Eugene says Hummel hint Liverpool Everton website. He also says Everton have history with Mike Dean. They do. 123 says hi mate. Lewis says hello Blues. Thiago Silva to take 50% wage cut. It'd be interesting to join the Premier League. We may talk about him in a little bit. Ollie says how are you? I'm not too bad mate. Cal says hello mate. Lewis says what's your score prediction? You'll have to wait for the game preview on Friday to find out my score prediction. I'm not going to give it yet because I don't know it yet, but there you go. Because I think we'll beat Liverpool 500-0 with Omar Niasse scoring 250 and Cuco Martina getting 250. Yeah, and then you woke up. Hernandez says, do you think this match is handled differently depending on the result of Arsenal versus City? If Liverpool can win the league, do we put our best players out on the pitch, understand injuries or youth? It's difficult, isn't it? Because there's a lot of fans that would say, yeah, put the kids out. They can win it. Who gives a fuck? It's not about Liverpool. There's a lot of people that think don't let them win it at Goodison Park. I sort of fit into the whether they can win it or not, we should be putting our best team out, because ultimately, like Corney said before, it's not about Liverpool Football Club, it's about Everton Football Club. And okay, we might have a lot to fight for this season, but we still want to get as many points on the board as possible. We still want to win as many games as possible, and ultimately we want to be going into next season in as good of a position. You can't sit here and say it doesn't matter if we don't win any of the remaining 9 games, or we only win 4 of the remaining 9 games, because ultimately that it doesn't give us the best momentum going into next season. It's going to be a very, very quick turnover between the end of this season and the beginning of next season. So we need to make sure that we go in with as much momentum as possible, as much positivity as possible. And for me, I want Everton Football Club to win every game. There will be a lot of rotation, there will be a lot of change because of fitness and the amount of games we play in such a short period of time. But I think it's important that we put our best side out at the right times, and we utilise our squad. Okay, we mightn't play Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front against Norwich, a couple of days after the Merseyside derby, because they'll have played in the Merseyside derby for large parts of the game, if not the entire game. But we might give an opportunity to a Moise Keane. We might give an opportunity to an Anthony Gordon maybe to start, and then we're utilising our squad. But for me, I don't know where you sit on this. I think it's important that we do utilise the squad, but for me, I'd be putting out the best team as possible for every game.
Well, I'm the same. It's about finishing the season strong, and if we could win the Merseyside derby. I've told you I've never seen us win one, so it can make 2020 a bit better if we beat them. Exactly. So I would go. Like, even when in Jan, when they put on the team, the kids, people were saying that we should have also played our kids, but it's a mentality thing which I hope Carlo has tried to change amongst these people, because you must play the people on the field and not the jerseys that they wear, because back then they could put any Muppet in a red shirt and we'd probably lose, but
I don't know about back then, probably now as well.
No, I mean, well, but hopefully something is inside them just wants to play football, and if we could take our chances, I think there'll be many chances. I honestly think, but I don't know if it's hope, but I honestly think we might come away with a win. I don't know.
I'm confident, mate. I am confident. I am, because again, and I'll talk more about this on Friday, but I'm confident because there's no momentum, no team has momentum. And look, Liverpool are a great side. Let's have it right. We can't sit here and say the shite, the this, the that. We hate them. We do hate them. I hate them. Cornet hates them. My dad hates them. Every Evertonian hates them. But they're a good side with good footballers. So I'm not sitting here saying there's no momentum, so they're not going to be good. They'll have trained hard, they'll have worked hard, and they'll want to get this league finish over the line. But they haven't got the momentum of coming off the back of 5 straight wins or whatever. It's in an away ground. It's in a different environment. It's a different environment for our players as well. Don't get me wrong, but I think more advantages sit with Everton, and I think Carlo Ancelotti will have really, really sat down with the players and assessed the different environment. And I think it's important that we don't shy away from it, but we what's the word I'm looking for? We take it on board and we use it to our advantage. We can't say, oh, there's no fans, so that's a negative, or there's no momentum, so that's a negative. We have to use that to our advantage, and I think Carlo Ancelotti will have done that with the lads. So I'm confident going into the game. I am, and don't get me wrong, on Sunday I'll probably be shitting myself from the moment I wake up till 2 minutes before kick-off, but what can you say? 123 says, hi Cam, Cal says, I think the Prem is being forced on us, left our model and forgot how the government messed up. Well, there you go, that's one for a different discussion. David says, Man City 3-1 to Arsenal, Everton, he predicts Everton to lose, but at least he won't win it at Goodison. I don't want us to lose, mate. I'd rather us, if we beat them, they wouldn't win it at Goodison, but I'd rather us beat them even if there was a chance for them to win it before then or whatever. Obviously, Carl says, David, do you think my fat one's a prediction? He also says Liverpool haven't beat us at Goodison in 2 seasons. They haven't. It's important to remember the crowd played a massive part in that fixture last season, and as it does all the time. David says, I know it tends to be draws. Carl says, I can't be positive having Sidibe and Keane in defence and no Mina and Walcott. Well, listen, Seamus Coleman might play right back. We don't know that yet. Again, obviously, Yerry Mina. Listen, I'm confident with Michael.
What would your starting team be? Who would you start between Sidibe and
I'd
Coleman?
start Coleman, preferably. I think Coleman's the better player. I think he's the better defender. And I think Seamus Coleman's game becomes flawed when he's played too many games in such a short period of time. I think that's when he struggles. Obviously, he's not played any games. He's coming fresh. So I think both at the same level of fitness, I'd take Coleman. I think he's a better defender. I do. Who would you? And
there was a time where he used to run up that wing and score a few blinders, but let's hope he can come through. Exactly. But I agree with you. I'd rather have Coleman. Sadive's defense is a bit shady, yeah. And on the right wings, would you have Bernard on the left, and who would you have on the right?
Anthony Gordon.
On the right of midfield, or on a...
I'd have Anthony Gordon and Bernard as the wingers, and like I said, I think he'll put Sigurdsson in there. I do, but listen, I wouldn't mind Iwobi through the centre, because I think he's a better player through the centre. I think he's a much better central midfielder, attacking midfielder, number 10, whatever you want to call it, than he is a winger. But I'd have...
Next to Gomez, would you put him next to Gomez?
I think he drives with the ball, Iwobi, and he hasn't got the defensive. I think if we put him next to Gomez, then we're massively relying on our centre-backs, because there's not much defensive cover there between either of Iwobi and Gomez, that neither of them are very defensive. But I think
But now there's Sigurdsson, so if you're going to put Sigurdsson there, you might as well put Iwobi there.
Exactly, we haven't got it, and it's just a Ghana Gay style defensive midfielder, have we? So ultimately, I think we have to use what we've got. But I do want to see Anthony Gordon start in this game. I really, really do. I think he's impressed in training. I think he impressed prior to the suspension. Again, like Calvert-Lewin, I've been massively impressed with his work ethic during the lockdown. You know, he seems to be, you know, training, doing more, going the extra mile every single day. He looks in shape. He looks brilliant. So I really want to see Anthony Gordon start in this game. I do.
We can go with 5-5-3-2. Put Leighton Baines and Coleman on the. Oh, we don't have centre back options unless we go with Holgate, Baines and Keane, and then Dean and Sidibe on the. No, you won't. No, Coleman and Dean, and then you have 3. You have Gomez, Bernard and Iwobi, and Charleston and Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, it's a shout. It's a shout, to be fair. It's a shout, and again, it's a formation that Ancelotti's used previously, and could look at. It'd be really, really interesting to see which formation he goes for. Whether he sticks with the 4-4-2 or whether he's worked on a different formation with the lads in training. It'll be really, really interesting. Hi, John says, hi Cam, how are you doing today? Listen, I'm not too bad, mate. Don't know why I said listen then. I'm not too bad, John. Thanks for asking. We'll go in then to talking about young players. We've just briefly mentioned Anthony Gordon, Dennis, Adeniran as well. Another young player that has impressed massively in training, or, you know, all of the clips, the videos that Everton have been putting out in training. He's looked fantastic in. Benny Beningham's looked really, really good as well. In terms of youth players then, obviously we know now that there'll be a 9-man bench. Obviously there's 5 substitutions instead of 3 as well. Would you start any of the youngsters then? Anthony Gordon. I'm tempted to say I'd start Dennis Adeniran. I don't think he will because of his lack of experience in the Premier League. But he's looked fantastic in training. He looks really, really sharp. Again, he's got that desire. He's got that hunger. But including Anthony Gordon, then would you start any of them in the game on Sunday? Would you have them on the bench? Would you be looking to use them? Because ultimately we're going to have to utilise these players in the next coming weeks or so because obviously of squad rotation and stuff.
Yeah, I would. Anthony Gordon's been looking quite good. I think he's also been stepping up his game. I just don't think, or I think that his hand might be forced into picking them, but I don't know if he'll start them per se. I think a lot of them will be on the bench, and he'll probably revert back to a more accustomed, tried and tested team, and maybe if the game is tight, put 1 or 2 of them on to try and put some energy. But like you said, he might be forced to start with Anthony Gordon because we don't have any right winger at the moment. So unless Richarlison plays there, but we don't have anyone. So I think Anthony Gordon. The centre backs is only Brathwaite. Who else? We're actually a bit light there. It's actually a bit concerning if one of them gets an injury. And Holgate wasn't even meant to. Beginning of the season, he wasn't even meant to be like a starting position. So we massively messed up there. So I don't know. I'm not sure who's all coming through from the youngsters in that position. Is it only Brathwaite?
Obviously, there's a couple of youngsters again in the under-23 setup that could be brought through, but it will be Brathwaite as the number 3 ultimately. And then the hope, I think, is that Yerry Mina comes back within the next couple of weeks or so. The hope is that he does return before the end of the Premier League season, and then of course there'd be 4 centre-backs with Brathwaite being the 4th choice. But yeah, you know, you're spot on. Ancelotti may feel like he's only got Anthony Gordon as an option. I think we'll see a lot of squad rotation. I wouldn't be surprised if 1 week we see Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison up front, and the next week we see Richarlison on the right and Moise Keane up front with Calvert-Lewin. I wouldn't be surprised if Iwobi plays on one of the wings and then in the centre midfield 1 week. I wouldn't be surprised if Sigurdsson is rotated as well. It's Sidibe, another one. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him at right back 1 week, at right wing the next week, because ultimately, listen, we haven't got the biggest of squads. We haven't got the most quality of squads, and we're having a lot of players out injured at the moment, so there's going to be a lot of rotation. There's going to be a lot of players picking up positions. I just hope that the youngsters get as much of an opportunity as, let's say, an Umar Niasse or a Cuco Martina, for example. If you put the 2 in front of me now.
I was gonna mention him. I was gonna mention them now. I'm like, I really don't want to see them on the bench, but we probably will
Exactly.
have
Listen, I don't.
to.
I don't.
Like, whenever I see Cuco Martina speaking to Carlo Ancelotti, I'm like, he must be thanking his lucky stars he's ever gonna work with such a
Exactly.
manager. I don't know what Carlo thinks that what he thinks of his squad. He must be thinking, oh my good
Exactly,
lord.
and listen, I think you're spot on. And if you said to me, Umani Ash who's going to leave Everton in the summer, walk, go and sign for somebody else, or Anthony Gordon, who would you rather give game time to? I'd say Anthony Gordon all day long. So, yeah, I hope the younger lads do get an opportunity. I think this is the biggest opportunity that they will have and will have had in recent times to break into the first team, show Ancelotti what they've got. Listen, who's to say that Anthony Gordon doesn't come in, play or feature in 7 of the 9 remaining Premier League games, and then Carlo Ancelotti goes, right, you're going to be starting frequently next season, you're going to be in the team. We done that with Ross Barkley. We brought him in, we give him an opportunity, and he was one of the first names on the team sheet the season after. Who's to say that Anthony Gordon won't be able to do that? He's got the quality, he's got the ability, he's got the potential, he's got the desire. It looks like he's got the work ethic. So who's to say that won't be the case? Some of the other young players as well. It gives Ancelotti a real opportunity to bring the young players in, and then he's left with 2 options. He's left with, right, okay, this kid's fucking good and good enough to be in our starting 11, or good enough to be in the squad next season, or he's had an opportunity, he's not quite ready, he needs to go out on loan, or maybe he could go out to a Schalke or a German team or an Italian team and get some experience overseas like John Joe Kenny has. And I think both of those are positives, aren't they, ultimately?
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you. You'd rather work with someone that you don't really know or that could be good than you already know what Nias is like. So what's the point in throwing him in if you can use your youngsters that might break through and be superstars? I'm quite excited to see Moise Keane and his reaction to everything. I hope he comes back stronger after the whole lockdown thing. I hope he's learnt. We must remember he's only 20. I think him and Anthony Gordon might even be the same age. So, I think he's a year older. So he's still young. He's still learning.
He's 20 years old, just recently.
And Gordon's
19,
19,
yeah.
or 18.
18, 19.
Okay. But I mean, I think I hope he comes through, because I'm actually quite excited to see him, because I think he's playing for his Everton career for the next few games. I heard something, or I saw something that we might sell him, but that's just paper talk. But I'm excited to see what I just hope he can add a few goals, because as soon as he starts scoring some, I think his confidence will go up.
Well, and you spot on. Moise Keane, another player who this is his big opportunity. Now, he hasn't had the greatest seasons on or off the pitch. He's struggled a couple of times. Now it's his opportunity to really, because he will get his fair share of games. Okay, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison may be the starting centre forwards, but Moise Keane will start in games of football in the Premier League for Everton over the next couple of weeks or so, because there's no way Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison will be able to start every single game, week in, week out. So you're right, hopefully, he takes this opportunity, uses it positively, and he takes it well, and listen, I think he will, and I think he'll be some player when he does do that. If you're enjoying the scene, by the way, so far, please do hit the like button. It does only take a second. We'll get into the live comments then, and then we'll wrap it up. Faye says, do you think Dean will go? No, I don't. She also says, hi, I hope you're doing well. Whammy says, hey, Cam, everyone. Hey, mate, hope you're doing well. Where are we? Blue Boys Network says, Sigurdsson should be sacked. Jared says, Jesus, I hope City beat Arsenal tonight. Me too, mate. Me too. Blue Boys Network says, Everton's Liverpool was the last fixture but wasn't played. Now we play Manchester City played. The reason is so they can win the league at Goodison Park. It's a joke. Should have stuck with the original fixture list, don't you think, mate? Well, yeah, listen.
Yeah, I'll come out. How did those fixtures come about? Are we still playing in the order that we were meant to play? After, was Norwich always going to be the next game?
Yeah.
And
I think so. I think they may have changed the fixtures in terms of who was playing next around a little bit. So, I don't know, for example, if you're playing on a Saturday, you may now be playing on a Sunday. Well, obviously, they've changed it because teams weren't playing on a Wednesday or a Thursday. But I think it's still the same teams that you were playing. I think it's still that same fixture list. They haven't randomised it. But ultimately, like what Mike's saying there is, I think we were the first game to be suspended. So we'd have been on today.
We should be playing now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We should.
Well, yeah, we should be there now. Well, lucky for us that we've got a couple of more days before we have to play them. So, a couple of more days of sanity. lucky for us.
Are you guys watching? Is it? I heard it's all free, or you can stream it for free now,
Yeah,
right?
it's free for certain. I think the season ticket holders get a free pass. I think various other people.
Isn't it on BBC or something that you
There's
can
a
watch
couple of
it for
games on
free?
BBC. The Derby isn't one of them, but there's a couple of games on BBC.
Are you subscribed or how do you watch? Oh, they my thing went again.
How do I watch the games?
My thing just logged out.
It's still on. We're still on.
No, but for my side,
Might go off again then. Can you still hear me? It might go off again. Just we'll restart Corner. We'll get him back on for the final few minutes of the stream. Just get into live comments for now. Jeff says, alright, Cam, missed the start, sorry. But it's nice having football back, something to watch. I agree. Ryan says, hey guys, how are you doing? I'm not too bad, Ryan. Jeff says, nah, it's probably John. Jeff says, thanks, I'm sound, buddy. Where are we? Sarah says, Mike Dean and the bias just makes it feel more normal and I feel like a regular derby for me. Haha, that said, I feel strangely positive about this derby. DCL and Holgate looking insanely fit coming in. Spot on. You're absolutely spot on. Jeff says, yeah, DCL is looking proper hench now. Jeff says, if Carlo can't do it, then we really are screwed. We are. David says, Cam took a 50% cut, so it's 48p's now. Remy says, hit the like, guys, 96p's. Yeah, if you could hit the like button, it mean a massive, massive amount to me. We do appreciate that. Are we back? I can hear something going on. Are we back? I think we're back. That's alright, mate. That's alright. We're contacting all the way across the world. Let's get Cornet back in then. Can you hear me? Oh. Bear with me 2 seconds. I think it's kicked me out now. Technical issues, mate. Technical issues are just absolutely fantastic, aren't they? We'll finish this team up shortly then, soon as football starts in literally a minute. And we're having a few technical issues. Hope you're all having a fantastic day as well. Give me 2 seconds. Let me get back into here. Let's invite him back in. Do apologise about this. I hope you all are doing well. Jeff says, the only real positive thing that I'm hoping for is the academy kids getting some games. I'm hoping that the lack of crowds will allow these kids to flourish. I hope so, mate. I hope so. And we're back. Let's get you back in. Let's get you back in the software. No worries at all. Nothing can be done about the technicals. Let's get you. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Listen, I've done however many live streams in the since the channel's been on, and we've very rarely had any technical issues, to be fair. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We all about 10,000 miles apart, so I guess.
Well, exactly. And what can you do? What can you do, when we're so far apart? We'll look at finishing it up then. Eugene says, who do you think Everton will finish? I think we'll finish somewhere between 9th, 10th, somewhere like that. Where do you think?
Is there where I think or where I hope?
Where you think we'll go with?
But it's hard. It's hard when you try and hope. You're like, yes, we can win all the remaining 9 games. But think. I want to say 7th, but probably. I just hope top 10. Yeah. I think top 10 would be alright. Can't be finishing 12th or 13th. No. You can't have that on his CV. Oh, Carlo.
Exactly. Top 10. Let's aim for that one. Anyway, we'll end it there. Then we'll finish up the live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit the like button. Just to summarise then, injury updates. Andre Gomez is fit for the game on Sunday. Fabian Delph and Yerry Mina are massive doubts and unlikely to be available, and obviously Theo Walcott and Jean-Philippe Gbamin are both out. Mike Dean will officiate the game. He will be the referee with Chris Kavanagh on VAR. Chris Kavanagh, of course, sending Carlo Ancelotti off in the last Premier League fixture at Goodison Park against Manchester United. Mike Dean refereed the Merseyside derby in December at Anfield and made some dreadful decisions in that game. And then, of course, it is a big opportunity for the younger players, some of the younger players, to get involved and hopefully, flourish, as Jeff says. If you've enjoyed the live stream so far, please do hit the like button. It means a massive, massive amount to me. Really, really do appreciate all of your support. It means so, so much to me. The subscribers have been flying up, as of the likes and the comments. So big, big thanks to everybody for getting involved.
Get him up to 2,000 subscribers.
That's what we're aiming for. That's what we're aiming for. Aiming towards that 2K mark. Big, big thanks to Cornet for coming on once again. Really, really do appreciate it, mate. Hopefully have you on again at some point in the next couple of weeks or so.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you having me on. Let's hope for the win on Sunday.
Yeah, let's hope. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Jess says cheers, Cam, and our Southern Hemisphere friend to that, everyone. Yes, our friend, of course. If you've enjoyed, please do hit the like button. Really, really do appreciate all of the support. If you're in the live comments, big, big thanks to everybody for getting involved. If you're watching the YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I will leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll get involved with as many of them as possible. We'll be back on Friday, 5:15 PM live with the live game preview to the Merseyside derby. We'll be giving my predicted starting 11. We'll be talking a little bit more about the game. We'll be talking a little bit more about why Everton shouldn't have any fear going into this game. So don't forget to join us 5:15 PM for that one. Like I said, big thanks to Cornet for coming on. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Really, really do appreciate all of the support. And we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.
Cheers.